Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jazini. Welcome to Bridges. We talk about relationship, lifestyle and more. Today I saw a post that I want to discuss. Before now I've avoided discussing the EDOCHIE's matter, May and the husband YUL EDOCHIE, but I haven't been totally unaware of all the saga and everything happening. When one family is down, I feel so bad. It hurts really. I know that people are going through a lot of things in their relationships, in their marriages, even in their individual lives. But what is so important is how you handle the matters that arise in your life on a daily. You know, when that matter started in, I think that was 2022, yes, the first quarter of 2022, I was heartbroken. I think I made a video then. I was a young YouTuber then, and then that video, maybe I will still clean it up and repost it, but I talked about how I'm particular about how the whole thing unfolded. You know, like a woman who is planning her home with her husband. You guys pray every day. You look at the horizon. You plan your life together. You feel we are a team. It's just me and you against the world. And one day something happens and you just come to hear it on social media. You know, how it unfolded is what got to me. Not like people don't fall victim of adultery, but a lot of them may have been handled in a more mature way. I'm not justifying adultery in any way. Before one also falls into adultery, you may have given room to certain things or lost guard. It is very easy to fall into adultery. Adultery is a situation where people who are already married find themselves in a sexual relationship with someone who is not their partner. It's supposed to be something that is a taboo because you already made a covenant with someone. And why people forgive things like fornication, which is a sexual relationship outside wedlock, as a single person, adultery is frowned at seriously in our society. Forget the fact that our values are beginning to come down. Is it that they are coming down or that people are dismissing it or dismissing these things? It is very easy, but that's not the topic for today. I'm telling you for a fact, it's very easy to fall into adultery. Very, very easy. Especially when you start yearning for a kind of closure in some things you're going through in a particular relationship. Let me tell you, if a relationship is working, it's because two people are committed to it. And there is no perfect one. You know, when people come out to social media and behave like their marriages are made in heaven, everything is all cut out, I think that's a portion of a part of their life they want you to see. It doesn't remove the fact that they are going through challenges. And I'm not saying that they are broken by those challenges. Coming out stronger and able to come and continue saying that I love you, you love me, we are together, simply means that you are playing your part of a commitment. It also means that you have built your mind to that point where you can let go. It also means that you are seeing the next person as not an enemy, as somebody you can forgive, or somebody, okay, even if it's not out of love, but as a human being. What I ask myself in some situations is, can I like this person as an ordinary human being? That's where it starts. Okay, let me not digress. So I want to go back to the YUL EDOCHIE situation. I saw this post on Facebook and it caught my attention. It went back to that same thing I was talking about, how their matter unfolded on social media. Because this guy is a supposed celebrity. I don't know what we're celebrating, but I want to borrow a part of life of some people in the West. Even though they also celebrate people, they don't worship them. Everybody is seen as equal. Equality is very important in a society. And it will also help us not to push these people into what they did not bargain for. YUL EDOCHIE is a child to Pet EDOCHIE, whom we reverence so much as one of the veterans in the Nollywood industry. And that glory rubbed off on his son, YUL, you know. But when things started unfolding in his marriage and his life, the way he handled it got everybody talking. And this post that I saw is something like this. Post made by one Obinna Izuchukwu Chinedu. I don't know whether it's actually the statement of YUL EDOCHIE. I saw that post on Facebook and it caught my attention and I felt like discussing it. Nobody is perfect. I am not. You are not. I didn't marry a second wife to disrespect you. That's you talking to his wife and people are terming it apology. While we recognize that a man has an ego, most times the way men say sorry is not the way women say sorry. But there are situations where that ego will have to sit down, and there are situations also where you have to show remorse, serious remorse. Okay, I'm asking whether this is an apology actually, or guilt expressed. To my dear wife, Queen May YUL EDOCHIE, I acknowledge that I hurt you deeply and have apologized to you countless times. These are people who have lived their life on social media. We don't know actually when the apologies came because the apologies I have seen so far are side statements or implied statements or things that are not direct. You know, there has to be a time in a man's life when you go all out for what you want. And you throw away what people will say. You know, those that are cheering you up, you are the one living the life and you are the one in it. You forget about what those that are cheering you up are doing to have your peace, have your home back. At the end of the day, they will still celebrate you for being able to figure it out and find your feet back. So, maybe there has been a secret apology that is not open to the public, because most times deep things that happen in people's life may not find their way on social media. I take the blame for my actions. I take the blame for my actions. Was the blame supposed to be taken by another person? This is a slimy statement, meaning that two of us have been accusing each other and then one person says, let me take the blame. I agree with you that polygamy shouldn't be forced on anyone. You never bargained for it from the beginning. You never bargained for it from the beginning, neither did I. But I guess life happens. You already know the whole story. I didn't do it to disrespect you. I didn't do it to replace you, nor because I do not love you anymore. No, I have always loved you and always will. I've been a good husband and a wonderful father. I've supported all your hustles from day one. I've been an exceptional father to our children till date, making sure that they lack nothing and always there for everyone. Out of 100, I have done 99 things right. Hating me because of one thing isn't the best. Nobody is perfect and I'm not. You are not. Nobody is except God. I assure you that nobody is trying to take your place. This is where it got me. I read this thing and I saw a man still pampering his ego and trying to apologize indirectly without wanting to appear like a weak man. But this portion got my attention. I assure you that nobody is trying to take your place. I've apologized to you countless times, sincerely from my heart. I am sorry. I've always loved you and always will. Buto wanyoma, as in calm down, beautiful lady or good woman. We can live peacefully and happily. So this portion made me begin to ask whether YUL is asking the wife to face her fears. What is her fear? Polygamy. He confirmed the wife's fears in this statement where he said, nobody is forcing polygamy on you. And we have argued what polygamy is. Most of us came from polygamous settings, at least if not our first parents, our grandparents. At least I had a grandfather who had 2 wives. And how he ended up with 2 wives wasn't the way this family went about it. In that situation, he had a wife. My grandmother had 3 successive girls, like girls back to back. And you know what the male figure is for an African man, an Igbo man for that matter? Like, he needed a successor as a son. And then it was his own wife who encouraged and said, let me get you a wife. The wife went by herself to marry a wife for the husband, who happened to be a subordinate, just to get a male child. And the arrangement was such that everybody respected the agreements, their space, the hierarchy of authority, and the sanctity of marriage. So even in later years, when knowledge increased, things started changing, you will discover that most of these second wives left their children for the purpose they were raised to succeed and or be a son or a child to a family who needs them, and they moved on with their lives. When they now say that we are much aware, we don't want to continue living as second wives, but we're not going to change anything or drag any child or something, we get the permission to move on with our life. Most of them were granted the permission to remarry, and with the first wife still having her place as the woman of the house, taking care of her stepchildren as well as her own children, for the fact that she was the one who organized the whole thing. And in places where they could not manage it, we saw the consequences, that people started saying, we don't want polygamy with the way it is being practiced now. And those days, polygamy was a thing that was used to raise labor. As decay, your wealth was measured in how many children, how many wives you had. Okay, let me not dwell in that. And because of the bickering, the enmity, and some of the problems that came from this polygamy, many people vow that they don't want to go into polygamy. They don't want to be second wives. They don't want to even find themselves in a situation where they will have to be sharing a husband with another woman. So they are confirming that the wife doesn't want to share with any woman. Is he now saying we can live peaceably together? I saw another post directly from him where, after that apology, I assure you nobody is trying to take your place. Is it a situation of let's cohabit, let's live together as one big family, one big polygamous family? I've seen him pride himself as an African man who is open to polygamy, but you don't force a woman who don't want to share. That's how magnanimous the Igbo culture is. It allows your woman the right to accept or reject. And where you go against her wish to go into that, she reserves every right to find her way or live her life. Every covenant she has with you is waning, is losing strength. It becomes a matter of her choice. Okay, I saw another post where he said, always remember, none of us will be here forever. Life is a passing phase. We come and we go. While we're here, let's make the world a better place. Throw hate and wickedness away. Lend a helping hand to others whenever you can. Spread love, bring joy and peace to the hearts of many. If you ask me, this message is a little bit contradictory to what has transpired in his life and family. Okay, the crop of the matter that I even want to dwell on is how the whole thing happened. You in this message says, I didn't plan to go into polygamy, which means he was overtaken in a fault. He fell into adultery, maybe because of the nature of his job, or the schemings of a Warish woman around him, or these are reasons people can find themselves in a messy situation as married people. YUL is somebody who is an actor, he is exposed, and then he has women flocking all around her, those who feel they can use what they have to get what they want, those who also want to get it by hook and crook, those who are desperate, a lot. There are many women who will throw themselves at you just to get what they want. People of low virtue. Now, it takes two to tango too. And then, I'm not buying an excuse for this man. Let's assume that in the process of his work, because he is saying it's not my intention, in the process of your work, it happens. We are at one time or the other in our life faced with where we find ourselves in a very messy situations we didn't plan for. In that case, going further and further will be the worst thing to do. Like using another sin to cover another sin will be the worst thing. You will regret it. You will regret it. You know, in trying to appear like the whole person we always want to appear. Like, people cannot just hear this about me. People cannot just think about me in this light. Then you commit another crime or another sin to cover the first lie. Tell another lie to cover the first lie. And I will always say that it will take a bigger lie to cover the first lie. In that case where you are falling into this whole situation, and how the thing played out in their case, the wife was still very much around when this whole thing happened. And I think that is the way he now handled it that made it go out of hand. Okay, let's say you have fallen. Two things are involved. It's either it was a hot grab, or that the woman who got you into the whole situation wanted you at all costs, that she doesn't care whose ox is God or what happens. It becomes a matter of you saving the day, you making your own choices. If she wanted you at all costs, in this case, which is, what's her name, Judy Austin, do you also want her at all costs? That is where husband and wife now, in the first place, you're not going to tell your wife not to be angry. She's going to lose it. That is where you see a man who intentionally fell into sin and a man who didn't. He is going to understand that this woman has every right to act in any manner at this time. Let me give her the time and space to vent, to even cry, to even react. And then the steps you take will now determine whether you actually did not want to put her in the mess or not. Who told you that if a lady is pregnant for you out of wedlock, you must marry her? So many things can be salvaged. That time when you fell, the first person to have told is your woman. Whether or not she's understanding, a lot of people are going to say, what if she's not an understanding woman? That is where wisdom comes in. How you break the news is what is important. There are many things you could do. Go with people, those you trusted. There must be somebody you can confide in to say, I have done this thing, I've done like this. It could be your pastor, it could be your doctor, it could be your lawyer, it could be a very close confidant, a friend of yours that can manage informations like that. Even if you don't have such close confidant, it could be a counselor that can help you divulge such information to your family if you're afraid that it will cause harm. So there are many ways to handle it. But it's not time to go on a frenzy doing more and more. So in that situation, you allow her to vent. The very first person to confide in is that same person you are afraid of, to say, I actually did this thing. It wasn't intentional. I was in a movie set or something. She brought her big breast. She rubbed her hands all over. She tempted me and I fell. Believe me, there is no understanding woman that with give it a little time, that will not come to terms, knowing full well that you're not that kind of person, except you are a promiscuous man, except she has known you as that kind of man who is looking for opportunity and you found one. There are many men, I believe, that are not looking for opportunity, but they fell. There are also many men who I know who I feel are looking for opportunity, and he came and they grabbed it very well and capitalizing on she tempted me. So some people will argue that it doesn't take once to get pregnant. For some people, it takes even half. For some, it's once. For some, it will have to take many more such encounters to get pregnant. Okay, what if she didn't get pregnant and such things are happening behind the wife? She still would not know. So while I'm not forcing, there are people who are going to, people like Blessing CEO, who will come and brainwash you with certain kind of knowledge, as that sometimes I think, sometimes she seems to make a little bit of sense, but some other times I shake my head with some kind of sensual knowledge our people are being fed with these days. When they make you feel as a woman as the fault in a broken relationship, it is the fault of two people. I'm not saying if you had done something that is wrong, you shouldn't own it. I'm talking about situations where you are being made to feel that men are built to act in a particular way. In fact, they cannot reason. It's you that is a woman that should reason. No, I won't buy into that nonsense. There are many men who are virtuous. Should I use that word for men? Yes, who love virtue, who have self-respect. Just like there are many women who still have self-respect. We will argue that our closeness to our Maker, our God, helps to enhance these qualities. But that's not the topic for today. So in that case, if you are saying I was overtaken in a fault, how do you handle it? So if you now embrace a strange woman because of her breasts, the Bible said something that stolen waters are sweet. And sometimes I ask this question, the people that see opportunity, especially the married ones that see opportunity to go into adultery, everyone is tempted. If I tell you that I've not been tempted closely, I'm lying. Everyone is tempted, but there must be some things you have placed as important, a no-go area, as values, as something that you cannot give up on. That even when it's very close, God will deliver you because of the consciousness you have built in yourself about what's at stake. Okay, that time you are so tempted, falling into the hands of a strange woman, that you fall in. Everybody is tempted. How do you handle situations like that? And before these things happen, you would have seen the clue. You would have seen the clue that so person is interested in me. And men who value what they have with their partners, I'm talking specifically about people who are already married. They have something at stake. Forget about these ones that are experimenting, even though that's also not good. Sampling, moving from one person to the other. If you sample one and leave that one, who is going to take that one? Another person comes, sample, leave, sample, leave. It's never better anywhere. So, and what did you even see in these people? Some people will come with the theory that I cannot be eating the same food every day. The same, I eat egusi soup today. The nonsense psychology they have used to justify the misbehavior of adultery. I'm very particular about adultery, people who are already in marriage. But as much as I am talking, something within me is telling me you cannot tell somebody who doesn't have Christ in him that adultery is not good. Because every other misbehavior, every other sin is not good and are all rated the same way. But let's even say this one is sin against your body and against someone, as the Bible will put it. Okay, you give yourself those reasons. I cannot be eating I'm odogu. What makes you odogu? The long thing between your legs makes you odogu. No. Odogu is seen from both the character angle and the angle of everything that makes you. I cannot be eating egusi every day. If you eat egusi, you eat ogbono, you eat oha, you eat wedu, you eat amala. Like seriously? Like seriously, there are certain logics that do not apply with these simple excuses, these simple examples. I was saying something about what the Bible says about stolen waters being sweet. You know, a parcel, when it is tied, when you are nibbling at it, it is sweeter. You go, you pinch small, you eat, it's very nice. But when you now open it and have your food, the law of marginal utility sets in, or the law of diminishing returns. They're almost the same thing. What does that law say? That the more a commodity is consumed, the satisfaction derived falls. If you keep eating rice today, I'm not using it to justify what you people say, I cannot be eating the same thing every day. It also applies in this marriage relationship. It's a covenant. In a covenant, you don't have to have convenience. You don't have to have everything going for you. You are bound by the strength of that commitment. Okay, when you're nibbling at it, she rubs her breast around you today, rubs your head and your ear and sends waves all over your spines, and you are nursing it. You didn't take deliberate effort to pull yourself out of that person, a Warish woman who is ready to stake everything, who doesn't respect what is at stake for you. Then you keep nurturing it. There was no deliberate effort to say, no, I'm going to distance myself from this person. That is how a reasonable man delivers himself from Warish women. Women who are just carried away by the tickles in their veins. The same applies to men. There are men who have been given such opportunities that they started feeling that every woman is like that. So when they see you, they start making advances. In that situation, what do? You spot them. The signs are all over. Avoid having yourself in close circles with such people that you know obviously have interest in you. Avoid enjoying whatever they throw your way. A lot of people are needy in their relationships. Yes, needy in the fact that the romance you perceive in your head is not the oil in your relationship, might not be there as you want. And one thing is that nobody has it all packaged in one. There must be areas that you're also not seeing that your partner is excellent. So when these other people show you these aspects, you forget that they may not have the same part that you have, but you now carry that part they showed you and join to the one you have, hoping that you have it as a whole like that. And then when you go out and find opportunities where these things express themselves, you grab it. Saving yourself from adultery is a deliberate effort. We all have come close to it. No woman, no man will say that is married will say they haven't come in close sheds with adultery. The signs will always be there. How do you deliver yourself? How do we say you didn't deliberately fall into it? Okay, I've had you now, and I have, and then you say I'm pregnant for you. It doesn't still make it a reason to scatter a home you have built for almost 18 years. I've known people who fell, and there is nobody telling to waste any child. And it resulted in situations like this. What they will do is to find a way to sort this person's out. Even if you want to have that child, you will have the child. We will take care of the child. But I am not going to go on with this. Even at this point, nothing cannot be saved. Nothing cannot be salvaged. It is now a call for May to decide whether or not he will go back, which I can't rule out. But a lot of things have gone under that will keeping hearts heavy, especially the loss of their child. You can forgive someone who said he fell in adultery. I've seen situations where family come back together after many years, which I'm hoping that God finds a way to put them back. But it's not my call. It's the choice of the woman. Nobody's pushing her into it. She may have even had more peace now. It's difficult to find oneself in this kind of situation, and I don't wish it on anybody. I don't wish it on anybody. So is YUL asking the wife to come back so that all of us will be together, which I will not advise. If he wants to, if he feels that he still loves this woman, May, and wants the family back, he has to pay the price. Everything will not come on a platter of gold, especially when you scatter it. You have to go back to untie everything you have tied for yourself. Even if it means sending this woman to stay apart, I will raise my children that came from you. So I was talking about nibbling and parcels that will still be open. So when you feel, there's one thing about men and adultery. If they married a woman who is small in stature, they will be able to forget. Everybody will be doing my woman is hot cake, agbani, this and that. And then until they come in contact with a heavily built woman with big bust, fleshy body. And then there's a contact with the body and it feels like, oh, this feels like a pillow. It's so comforting. It's warm. While the other one feels like a bone. You know, there's that temptation to want to have what you are not having. And you want to have it all. You now try this one. At that point, you start feeling like it's better than what I've had. On the interim, just for the moment, that feeling is there. And you know, that's why we say it's never better anyway. The happiness you experience in your relationship is the deliberate effort you make to give yourself that happiness. It's not automatic like we have married, everything will be rosy. You will invest in your relationship to make it what you want. And then the men like breasts. So the breast of that heavily built woman looks like a comfort zone at the moment, until you now have many of it and you now get tired. The law of diminishing returns still sets in. You begin to realize that there is also something in this other woman that I'm not getting here. Apart from her body, character-wise, and so many other wives. So for people who feel that they can eat this one, eat that one, and have it all, is a lie. That is where you start nurturing adultery. Tell yourself the truth that I must not have it all. And if God blesses you and you have it all, it's a plus for you. You might be one in a million. Enjoy. So, we used to say, you always want what you don't have. Like, I'm here now. And I want to be elsewhere where I feel another person is enjoying. But when you get there, you will discover that it's never better anywhere. The betterness is a deliberate effort that you make for yourself. So if this man is actually apologizing, one, I feel that the apology should be distinct, should be straightforward. There's nothing that has to do with ego. The ego is already battered like battered. Forget about what Judy always does when she comes out, dogu dike, this one, that one. That is something that is used to fill an emptiness. When I look at this guy, I see an emptiness that looks like somebody who is hypnotized. I don't know if everybody is seeing what I'm seeing. I have a discerning spirit and I'm seeing it. This guy looks like someone who is hypnotized, not in his right senses. So if he's coming to his right senses right now, that's all well and good, and we'll keep praying for that family that God will restore them. If it is the will of God that they come back together, fine and good. If it is not the will of God, they can live separate lives but forgive each other. But as long as both of them are alive, they may not be consummated elsewhere, or should not be consummated elsewhere from the laws of God concerning divorce. That's what I was saying. What do I mean? Until death do us part simply means if we are to really keep the covenant, if we are to really keep that covenant, it means that as long as your partner is alive, you cannot consummate any other relationship, but you can be separated. If your life is in danger, if there is a cogent reason, a good reason to divorce or separate, then you stay celibate. You are going to stay like that. That's why I tell people that separation is allowed, but divorce is not. What's the difference? You can separate from a relationship for the time being. And it is advised that those who are important in your life, measures that are noteworthy, be taken to see that things get back good, because we cannot throw the baby and the bathwater away. You always look for how to salvage situations that have gone sour. But if every good effort has been made and nothing is working, the partners can be advised to stay separate, stay separated, be on your own. But it simply means that at this period, so long as one of you is alive, you cannot go and open your body to anybody to say, let's have sex or let's make love. That's the burden that everybody going into marriage and want to stay as God originated it will have to go through. But these days, our leaders, the states, and so the church has got some level of authority to separate a marriage, to say, okay, we separate you guys, you are free, you can move on. God recognizes those authorities. That is why Christ told these people, say, I have not come to destroy the law, I've come to fulfill it. Because God still recognizes the laws of a people. And that is why every country has to invest in godly principles, which form the basis for their laws. Because those laws are like the laws of God. If a state and people have put a law and say it has to be like this, God respects those laws. So when they apply those laws in the running of the lives of their people, God will not cancel it. So, but when you have leaders and people who do not pay cognizance to God in setting these rules, then God is angry at the people and at the way things go. So that's why we try so much. We pray that marriages don't break. Marriages don't break. We have relapsed most of our laws on marriages, our values, our principles on marriages. And that is why our society is also going sour. So if we actually to follow that divorce separation thing, nobody wants to be in that situation where he'll be feeling like, should I not? So before you get yourself into a very tight corner, tell yourself that it is just a few moments of orgasm, a few moments of shaking, a few moments of jingoism. When the passion is on you, it's like there's nothing like this. Nothing feels so good like this. Give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It fizzles away. In fact, what follows it is a great guilt. A great form of guilt. And then all the senses comes back. It is said that emotion is stronger than knowledge. You will know all the things you're supposed to do, but when it comes to the doing, you fling caution to the wind just to satisfy the urge at the moment. And then, a is ready to go all the way to get what she wants. She can use kayamata. She can use any form of thing to find his way in the bosom of the man she wants. Destroying families. While we watch what is happening, it's not entertainment for me. I bleed when families go. When family goes, society is at risk. Lives are destroyed. Children are derailed. Paths are changed. Destinies are affected. Thank you so much for listening. We can come back to the topic. For now, I will stop here. Ciao.